Friends, welcome to Straight Talks. Today this is the first year since the Pahalgam tragedy happened and 26 Indian tourists died there. It marks basically an year of retrospection, how the things have changed over the period of time and how the terror has affected the region. It's very important uh, for us to know what the Friends believes, especially Bhutan, which follows the philosophy of GNH, also believes in the peace and security, safety. How the Bhutanese people think really matters to everyone. And in that context, I would like to speak to one of the most senior, most generalist in Bhutan, Editor-in-Chief of Business Bhutan, Mr. Ugyen Tenzin. And welcome, Ugyen Tenzin, to the podcast. I would like to actually talk to you on these issues. That what measure, especially how the Bhutanese look at the human tragedy of Pahalgam.
Thank you very much, sir, doctor. It's a privilege for me to be on your podcast, and especially as we look back 1 year after what happened in Pahalgam. First of all, my heart goes out to those affected, especially the families who lost their near and dear ones. And then coming straight to your question, if you ask me how it affected the Bhutanese, it's very difficult for me to put also every Bhutanese into one can. And I was speaking as a Bhutanese. Now, I clearly remember the day after the tragedy, this evening. If I'm not mistaken, around 5 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah.
And the moment I heard the news, terror attacks in Pahalgam, innocent tourists in Pahalgam who were killed, my immediate reaction was, my God, may the souls rest in peace, Om Mani Padme Hum, like they say.
And you represent the representative of Bhutanese belief. So most of the Bhutanese must have believed the same way.
Yes, that was. So you have been in Bhutan for a very long time, 3 decades plus.
Yeah.
And you know how Bhutanese we tend to respond,
Yeah.
and especially because of all the cultural impacts that we have had, the way we have been brought up, and all, a lot of compassion. So even today, if there are Bhutanese like think about what happened in Pahalgam 1 year back, I'm definitely will be all about compassion.
Yeah.
Why there is so much of suffering in this world.
Yeah, Pahalgam is just basically an incident, but a terror attack anywhere would have the same impact on.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But like I told you, like now, it's very difficult for us to put like thoughts of every Bhutanese and say that's what every Bhutanese think. But now, like, as an ordinary Bhutanese, that would be the immediate reaction, and that is what I would think the reaction of all Bhutanese. Because if you look at the social media reactions of the Bhutanese, then immediate after the incident in Pahalgam, there wasn't this call for revenge.
Yeah.
So we have to attack. Everything was, why is there suffering in this world? So it is, and it has always been for a very long time. Our call has always been for not for escalation, but of some sort of compassion. We do empathize. Being the people of India who were killed, 26 innocent lives, like I said, and as we are very close to India, definitely, our feelings are different compared to how it would have been if they had not been Indians. Definitely, it's there. But then, as a general Bhutanese, the reaction is always it's a universal reaction that we have, and like we always know, always with a lot of compassion, a lot of empathy.
And do you think that Bhutan's media, how it covered the issue?
Just like it's not just the media; the media is a reflection of the society. And as you know very well.
Again, how the Bhutan media covered this whole, basically, in your opinion, what was?
Just to reiterate just what I said, the media reflects the society. So in our response to in how we report it, we were not reactive. We were reflective.
Okay.
We did offer our condolences to the lives lost in India. As I said, India is a very good friend of Bhutan. And even today, we do empathize with all those lives lost. It has it has been in most cases a very, very reflective reaction. We didn't go try to scrutinize what happened, just like the other social media outlets would have done. Maybe in the social media things would have been different, but the mainstream media, our response, as it has always been, has been very, very reflective.
Bhutan being a Buddhist country and which follow GNH peace, how, not even just talking from the Pahalgam perspective, how they see the whole idea of terrorism, how the Bhutanese perceive the terrorism, means
No,
are they able to relate to the idea of terrorism?
It is very difficult,
Yeah.
like you said,
Yeah.
we are like in a Buddhist country.
Yeah.
Again, we have GNH, the
Yeah.
principle of our policies, and the basics of Buddhism, the basics of like GNH is compassion. We
Yeah.
talk about karma, we talk about interdependency, non-violence.
Yeah.
So when such outbreaks do occur, it is like incomprehensible for us to think how those things can happen.
Yeah.
But sir, there's some point here. When we say GNH, we are guided by GNH, we are guided by Buddhism. I mean, we are like led by Buddhism. It doesn't mean that we are ignorant of those facts. It doesn't mean that we are blind to terrorism or to violence. We do think about violence and all, but then the way we react, GNH, it tells us how we react.
Okay.
So we have not always been reactive. Like I
Yeah.
said, we have
Yeah.
been very reflective.
Yeah.
Everything that's happened.
And for the basically from a, I don't know how you read the politician, but looking from the whole broad policy perspective, how big, because of again GNH and commitment to peace and safety and security of the people, how the politician resonate with the whole idea of regional instability caused by terrorism.
Yes, again, Bhutan, we are a unique country. We are a small country, and all through, since we became a kingdom in 1907, we have always been very, very unique in the way we approach governance.
Yeah.
Now, coming to your questions, I think we should look at it at two levels. We have always thought about values at home, values at home.
Yeah.
And then when we thought about, to just break it down into three small parts, I would say, sir. Peace at home, peace at home. Then try to make peace with the outer world too.
Yeah.
And when you try to make peace with the outer world, think that there are realities in the world.
Yeah.
And then accordingly, you make your friends, you have your strategy partners, and the ways you go about. So here we are talking about, sir, peace and security, right, sir?
Yeah.
So peace, just as for Bhutan, as is for the whole, I think other countries too, is your goal.
Yeah.
Your goal. But then to have peace, you need to have security.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that Bhutan, like the politicians or our government, is ignorant of the fact that security is not always within our own.
Yeah.
We have to have our own ways to make ourselves secure. And we are aware of the realities that's happening outside Bhutan.
Yeah.
So as you see, if you look at the way we have approached governance, making our strategic partners, especially with India, so we have been trying to make ourselves secure too.
Yeah.
And in our own little ways, we have been doing what a country needs to be secure. So peace and security
goes together. Now, from Bhutan, tourism being one of the mainstay of Bhutanese economy, and all these acts of terrorism adversely affect the flow of tourism, especially to South Asia. What's Bhutan's perspective? Because Bhutan is can unnecessarily become a partner to what happens outside. So, how you perceive the whole idea of promoting tourism in context of the terror that happens in the South Asian countries?
You are right, sir. Even right now, no, I don't think you can call terror, but because of the problems in the Middle East, we have been affected. We have been affected. But then, again, Bhutan's tourism policy, we have been very, very cautious. We have a guided tourism. Tourists here, there are no backpackers just walking in.
Yeah.
So whoever comes to Bhutan, firstly they know Bhutan is safe. Bhutan is safe. But it doesn't mean that we have not been affected. What happens in India, what happens in Nepal, everywhere in the Middle East affects us. But people coming to Bhutan, they know that Bhutan is safe. Bhutan is safe. Bhutan is secure. So ultimately, we will be affected, but not to that level. As currently, like Dubai is affected, for example, like the Middle East is affected. But from all these, we also do see. I think using the word opportunity might not be right, sir. But we see something good for Bhutan, sir. People can look at Bhutan and say, yes, there might be problems anywhere in the world. But then there's a country in the world which is safe, which is secure, which always gives an alternative to the world. That's Bhutan, and people can come to Bhutan. But then, again, to reiterate what I mentioned, there are problems when they come to Bhutan. Connectivity is an issue.
Can I conclude that way, that geography gives in Bhutan an advantage that it is at least physically not affected by all these things happen, and tourism and economic activities in Bhutan are not directly affected by this. But culturally, I think there's people are, they feel bad about wherever the act of terror happens. So there's an empathy for the people who are affected by terror.
Indeed, sir, I think like you can say that even like I said, we are affected by what's happening even in the Middle East, and we do wonder why such things should happen in the world. We should in fact be venturing, going towards peace and prosperity, universal.
So thank you very much again for sharing deep insight into these issues. I think this also brings about how our neighbor feels about all these things. And I think this is what the unique about Indo-Bhutan friendship is, that we are always there in the time of good times as well as in good bad times. We are with each other all the time.
And thank you very much, sir. We may not be able to reach out physically, but our hearts do pour out to all the people who are affected in the world, and especially those in India.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.